Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz, episode 26. It's going to be a bit of a shorter show. We don't have as much to talk about as with last week. Don't have as much to talk about now that we are post 2022 Oscars, but our 2023 Oscars predictions are up. And we still have a couple movies to talk about. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's as good and better than everybody's saying it is. I didn't believe the hype, but it's definitely slotted into a couple of my Oscars predictions.
Okay.
It's quite good. Thomas saw something that's I haven't seen it because it's not out in the US, but I'm assuming less good, being Fantastic Beasts.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get to those reviews though.
We will. But we do have some news about the upcoming Oscars season. So let's jump straight in. First, so Babylon had one last week. Armageddon Time, James Gray's new film. I was predicting it for original screenplay. Our first reaction from somebody from the test screening, pretty negative. They said it was pretty disappointing. It was overlong, boring. Then the second one came out of somebody who really liked it. And attributed it, like, I know this movie is being compared to death to it already, but gave me a lot of Belfast vibes for the reasons why they liked it. So I'm still tentative about this movie. I might drop it out of my screenplay prediction.
Okay.
But thoughts about what we saw from these test screenings.
Yeah, I mean, you can never tell too much from these test screenings. I mean, we said it before, like, Don't Look Up was meant to be an incredible work of art, apparently, according to
win Best Picture after the test screening.
Yeah, I never said Best Picture, I don't think. Did I?
Oh, I thought you said Best Picture.
I don't think I went that far. I could have done, though. That does feel like something I may have done. But anyway, so we know we can't always focus on these, but they do provide a good indicator. And this film, I didn't put it in any of my Oscar predictions. I just don't think it will necessarily be something they go for. They didn't go for Ad Astra. Something I will say is the comparison, it could be made to Ad Astra. Audiences hated that movie, or didn't hate it, but didn't really like that movie. Critics loved it, or I guess liked it. So, his films can be divisive. Will this be another one that's similar to it? Maybe even similar to like Power of a Dog last year. A film that critics liked, audience don't like. That I could definitely see a potential in that. So the scenario playing out. But yeah, it is interesting to see that this is getting mixed reviews. But yeah, not too surprised given the director's previous track record.
Yeah, so James Gray, so with Ad Astra, an 83% on the tomato meter, a 40% on the audience score. So quite a disparity. But I don't know. The only reason that I feel like this is getting talked about, because Ad Astra wasn't really getting talked about that much. I think it just got a sound nom and maybe visual effects.
Yeah.
But I know it definitely got one of the either editing or mixing. But it's going to be an autobiographical film. Look at what those have done in the past with Belfast, Roma, etc. Like, we have both Fabelmans and Armageddon Time this year. Maybe. It could be a thing, but yeah, considering these, like, I don't know if I entirely want to drop it out, but it's definitely something to keep in mind as we move forward.
I mean, another problem is, like, James Gray is a big name, but he's not the biggest name. Like,
he's a big name within the film community.
Yeah, but I don't think he's
a household name.
Exactly. He's not Kenneth Branagh. And I think that the fact that The Fabelmans is coming out this year as well, and it is another autobiographical.
Spielberg is a household name.
Not even gonna try and say that word again. Film. It could just get overshadowed. Like, given how stacked this year is, if you want to see how stacked this year is, go look at our Oscar predictions. It just came out. That was a smooth plug. But yeah, given how stacked this year is, I see this film just being completely forgotten about by the time it comes. And don't take that clip out of context, which, you could have done for Coda last year when I said that, a similar thing.
Yeah, that you said that everybody would forget about Coda by the time that Oscar nominations in the Oscars happened. Yeah.
But this one, it will be forgotten about.
Okay. Would you like to try to say autobiographical again?
Autobiographical. There we go.
Well done. Some film festival news.
Mm.
Darren Aronofsky's A24 produced film The Whale is not going to be ready for Cannes, reportedly. And it will be going to fall festivals, most prominently rumored to be Venice.
Yeah.
So I feel like this makes more sense for the fall fests than it does for Cannes.
Mm.
I don't think that Aronofsky's been a big Cannes director in the past. So that makes sense. It's weird that it isn't done yet because I feel like we've been hearing about this movie for a while. Like I've been hearing about
Yeah,
it for
but
like
you
2 years.
know how like these sort of auteurs are. They need to get it perfect.
Yeah,
So like all of these films, they always have delays and like they need to make sure that the final edit, the final cut is as perfect as it can be. And yeah, I mean, I am very excited to hear the sort of reactions to this film because
yeah,
either I feel like this will be a Best Picture contender, or maybe Brendan Fraser will get in, and that will be it for the film. Like
yeah. All I
you know,
have is Brendan Fraser in the makeup as of
yeah,
now.
but I could see it doing big
Screenplay?
things in terms of exactly screenplay. If it can rack up these sort of nominations, I could definitely see it getting into the conversation at least. But yeah,
Yeah,
so we do need to see the sort of reaction. This is one I am like the Fablemans. We know the Fablemans is going to be good.
yeah,
Babylon, we're fairly sure Babylon's probably going to be good. This one, it could go either way, and I'm excited to see which way it goes. I
yeah. I
hope
mean,
it's a
Aronofsky
positive,
has a
but we'll see.
spotty track record. He has a
Yeah,
spotty track record. But yeah, no, this could definitely rack up the noms. Like if we have like we already have like Brendan Fraser makeup that makes sense. Screen adapted screenplay if that sneaks in.
mm,
If you Sadie Sink or Hong Chow can get into supporting actress, well now you
yeah,
have two acting noms, a screenplay nom, a tech nom. Then you could be looking at picture. I also just love when you Google the movie The Whale. Some of the the next two movies that come up are Shallow Hal and Norbit. It isn't just because it features an overweight person.
yeah.
So
Okay,
thanks, Google.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of A24,
Mm,
Joe Talbot, the director of The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is a very underrated movie, it's actually pretty great, is going to be doing an A24 movie starring our girl, Renata Reinsva.
yes,
And it's going
yes.
to be called The Governess. I'm so excited about this. I'm so
Yeah,
excited about this.
I mean, I've not seen The Last Black Man of San Francisco. I definitely will check it out at some point, but I love A24. Renette Reinsberg's, in my opinion, the second best performance last year. Would have probably been first in a lot of other years. It's just we had, obviously, Case Stew, and she was obviously the best performance of last year. And the Oscars didn't recognize that, which is fine. I'm not bitter about it. But yes, Renette Reinsberg, great actress. A24, great company. Joe Talbot, he's clearly got a good reputation. So, yeah, cool. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So Lily Rose Depp is also going to be in it, which I'm not familiar with her. But it's also going to feature SAG winner Hoyon from Squid Game.
Okay.
So, I mean, plus Renata Reinsva from Joe Talbot, Last Black Man in San Francisco. So it's going to be based off of a novel, and it's going to follow three rebellious governesses who upend the household they work in, inspiriting the minds of the boys in their care, igniting the imaginations of the bohemian couple who employ them in abandoning their charges for erotic adventures.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very A24, doesn't it?
It sounds
Based
very
on that
A24.
description.
It also sounds like, it's based off of a novel. It's going to be a period piece.
Well, yeah.
Like,
Costumes,
this
maybe,
could be
maybe.
accessible. It could be accessible. I mean, it would follow kind of the pathway of like, a director having like a big indie hit like Last Black Man in San Francisco that like critics love that the Oscars don't recognize, and then boom, next movie they get a cast like this,
Mm,
and then that can launch them
yeah.
into the Oscars conversation because Hoyon, I don't think that she's going to win anything for Squid Game. For best actress drama, I don't think that would make sense. Um,
No.
but like or supporting actress, sorry, because I'm assuming that's going to be and it should be Sarah Snook for
Yeah,
Succession.
probably. Probably.
But like Emmy nominee, BAFTA nominee and Cannes winner, SAG winner, like clearly an awards recognized cast. Joe Talbot. We'll keep an eye on this one. I doubt this is going to be ready for this year, considering we're just hearing about it. So something to look forward to for the 2024 Oscars. God, that sounds weird. Hey, so do you remember Alcaraz?
I do.
The Berlin winning film from Spain, I believe. We both have it on our international feature predictions.
We do.
Got picked up by Mubi.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm assuming this is still getting a theatrical release.
Yeah, because, I mean, it probably will be limited, though. It'll probably be quite a limited release, I imagine. And, yeah, it's not too surprising this pairing, like, maybe often pick up foreign cinema. That is just sort of... That is the streaming service you go to if you're looking for foreign cinema, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the pairing makes sense. And, yeah, it doesn't hurt its chances. It doesn't increase its chances anyway.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, Drive My Car was picked up by the Criterion Collection in Janus Films. So, like...
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts to get a smaller distributor if you're an international feature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still predicting though that Bardo's going to go to Netflix. I'm still sticking with that.
Maybe.
But you know, we'll see. Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese's new feature. So it's going through reshoots right now. And then it will be releasing in November. I believe in theaters first for at least 2 weeks, and then it will go on to Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
So we'll be following the Tragedy of Macbeth model,
where
that got a Christmas Day theatrical release, and then was Apple TV January 14th, I believe. So theaters for a couple weeks, onto Apple TV. Great release date for it. What can we say? It'll be hitting Apple TV right in December, a couple weeks before voting will start for nominations.
Yeah. I mean, it's also following a similar blueprint to an even more successful Oscar film directed by Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, that had a sort of limited release in November, went to Netflix, boom, 11 whatever nominations or whatever.
11 nominations, 0 wins.
Yeah. Yes, I know 0 wins, but still, the 11 nominations are the ones that count. So yeah, it's a good blueprint to follow. It's worked in the past. November, it's a good release date for Oscar films. Trying to get in. There we go.
Yes. The other day.
Yeah, you've got it. You've got every Blu-ray possible. I'm sure you will have it eventually.
Sadly, no. But yeah, no. I'm one of the strange people who will buy Netflix original movies on Blu-ray if they get a Criterion release. I have that. I have Roma because I'm odd and am not smart with money, but it makes me happy. Critics have seen Robert Eggers' The Northman. Overwhelmingly positive first reactions. This is just like, these are actual critics. This isn't like a test screening or anything. These are critics. These are their official like tweeted reviews and stuff of their first reactions. I haven't found a single bad one.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
I mean, yeah. I could see this becoming this year's The Green Knight.
It could. Is it bigger than The Green Knight, though?
I know it's focused. It isn't A24. It is focused.
No, yeah. I feel it is a little bigger than... But yeah, I do agree. It's sadly not a great release date for it. Like,
no.
It's better than The Green Knight's release date because that got dropped in amongst all the blockbusters, meaning it made almost no money. Like, it's a bad release date to try and put it in summer. But, you know, this is much better because by the time the Oscars are voting... Yeah, it may be forgotten about. Having said that, I'm seeing it next week. I'm going to be very excited for it. Robert Eggers, love him as a director. You know, wasn't that struck by The Witch, but I think it's a good film. I just didn't think it was great. The Lighthouse really hooked me onto his directing. Yeah, I'm just very excited to see this. Yeah, pretty much a masterpiece.
So, yeah. It'll be interesting because, like, I was a little bit higher on the Northman train at the start of the year. I've cooled down on it a little bit. I don't think I predicted it for anything. Or no, I put it in for makeup. I put it in for makeup and hair. I think production design is also possible, but yeah, it'll probably just be limited to text. I mean, Lighthouse did get cinematography. It was also in black and white.
It was, yeah. And in 4x3, so.
Right. So, like, it had a bit of an advantage over the Northman.
It did. Yeah.
And also like Everything Everywhere All at Once is just eating it up right now as far as like getting all of
Mm,
the early buzz. So like if
yeah.
anything is going to follow the Get Out model of a February, or like early release to make it all the way, I think it would be Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Probably. I would imagine
Which
so.
I
I'd imagine so.
might seriously consider putting into picture, screenplay, editing, actress. Yeah, we'll talk about it more later, but
Yeah.
it's good. All right. Lastly, Don Hertzfeldt is making a musical, according to his tweet. Are you familiar with Don Hertzfeldt?
I've seen him in my YouTube recommended. That is about as how familiar I am with him.
So he is a two-time Oscar-nominated filmmaker in the shorts category.
Mm,
He made what is like largely considered to be an animated masterpiece. It's Such a Beautiful Day, which is an experiment, like a sci-fi experimental animated film. It's only an hour long. It's I think free on Vimeo. Which was I think it was nominated like because it was released in three different 20-minute chapters, and then now
mm,
you can watch it all as one. But two of the three chapters were Oscar nominated. It has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, a
yeah.
4.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Um, it's beloved.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is. I'm assuming it's animated. I don't know if this is feature length. I don't know if this is a short. Regardless, it's Don Hertzfeldt. He's
Yeah.
incredible. I think it's something to mention. Maybe we'll see whatever this is contending in the shorts category in a couple of years. But
Yeah. Yeah.
thought it was at least worth a mention.
Yeah. And it will probably be a couple of years because, like, with these kind of projects, yeah, they take a while. So it may be a
And he
couple
does
of years.
hand drawn like animation.
Exactly. Like those kind of,
Like
people who do all the animation like themselves or whatever. These sort of projects take a while. So it may be at least 2 years before we see this. But yeah, I'm excited about it whenever we do. Whenever we do
it
get
is.
around.
It's worth a mention.
Yeah.
Especially it's gonna be some slow weeks for a little bit.
Yes,
Though
it is.
we will have a lot to talk about next week. Not only will you see the Northman,
Mm.
Cannes is releasing their official selections on Thursday.
Wow.
So
Okay. Yeah.
we'll get to talk about all of the can, all of the
Yeah.
can,
All of the can.
um, all of the can, um, all the cans everywhere, all at once. So let's talk about a trailer
Hmm.
for what might be the most adorable film of the year.
Yeah.
Marcel, the Shell, with shoes on. Thomas, give me your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, you said it. Just a cute trailer. A nice,
Yeah,
sweet. This looks like it'll be a nice, sweet film. You know, like, is it going to make a political message? Maybe. It's A24. They're probably going to do something a little deeper than, what they're sort of showing on the trailer. But, I don't even care if they do. I just
yeah,
want to see a nice film. And, like, I don't know if I'm completely struck on the design of the shell. I do have to say that. Like, it is a little childish, but I'm sure it will look good in the actual film. And I'm sure it will actually work. But we'll see. Like, so far, cool. Will it be in any sort of Oscar contention? No, it will not be. It looks like an independent A24 film. So,
okay.
what are you putting it? It's not going
No,
to get any Oscar attention.
I'm saying, does it have a shot at animated feature? It has a 4 on Letterboxd. It has an 83 or yeah, an 80 on Metacritic and a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. This premiered at fall festivals last year, and people like critics loved it. I know Matt Naglia, one of the biggest Oscar pundits in the space. He
Hmm.
has this. It was one of his favorite movies of the year last year. And then now this year, that it's releasing this year. Like I'm not going to be putting it on predictions, but considering the critical reaction, and it is going to qualify as an animated feature, I believe.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because, like, yeah, okay,
So I'm not sure. It's very much mixed media. So
yeah,
if it qualifies as an animated feat, like yeah, it'll be interesting to see the qualifications. If it's not animated feature, no chance of any kind of like
no, no,
Oscar support. If this counts as animated feature, I I think it has an outside chance.
Maybe. I'm
We'll have
not
to see what the
completely
release date is
convinced.
and what the public
I mean, I
reception
like the
is.
look of the film, but
Mm.
I don't know about its Oscar chances.
Yeah, yeah. I think only if it is eligible for animated feature. Um, I'll probably look after the show to see if we know how much of it is like animated and how much of it is mixed media
Mm,
with live action and animation.
yeah.
Because that'll be the big. Because like there's definitely been mixed media stuff eligible before. I mean, it wasn't nominated, but like the Lego Movie
Mm,
was eligible, and like that's
yeah.
like you know probably out of like the hour and a half, hour 40 runtime, maybe 20 minutes of it are in live action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it was still majority animated. So we'll have to see how the balance is struck. But yeah,
Mm,
overall, it just looks adorable.
yeah.
This Marcell is voiced by Jenny Slate, who's great. Rhymes.
Yes.
And like
Was that deliberate?
no, it really wasn't.
No. Yeah.
Like I thought about it before I said it. It was like, oh, this is going to rhyme, and then I just finished saying it because I was
Okay.
already happening. Um, uh, but like the voice is adorable. It just looks like it's going to be incredibly heartwarming. It's based off of a series of like YouTube videos from like 2009, like the early
Yeah.
age of
The early
YouTube.
days.
Um, I was 4. And
Yeah. I would have been 3.
oh, wow. Well, we were babies, much like
Yes.
Marcel.
Yeah.
And we're about the same age as Marcel.
We are. We are. If you think about it like that, yes, we are a similar age to a fake animated show. That is,
Yes.
yeah, that is where we're at.
Yep. I we need stuff to talk about. The Oscars
Yes.
aren't for like 10 months.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. That's very true.
So we have to start comparing our ages to shells.
Yeah.
Um
Why not? Why not?
but yeah, I mean, I'm just A24. What can they do wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about A24 a lot this episode,
We
and
really have.
it's just
Between
going
the
to be even
government,
more with
the
everything,
whales.
everywhere, always, all at once.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is
Yeah.
a A24 heavy show, but
Yeah.
I'm all the more here for it because
Yep.
we love
I
A24 here.
I
We
wore my
stan it. We
I
stan it.
yes, I'm such a stan. I wore my A24 sweatshirt to Everything Everywhere All at Once yesterday.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
where I'm at. Um
good, nice,
yeah.
nice.
So the first question pertains to Everything Everywhere All at Once for getting into questions, but we can probably just talk about it in my review.
Yeah,
So first, I've not prepped you on this.
no,
To be fair, the document is available to you at all times. But
it is, it is.
I can answer first. But which Grammy winner from this past week could be next to win an Oscar? So the winner of Album of the Year has actually already won an Oscar, which was John Batiste for his album We Are, which is great. He won. Thomas, what do you think? He won at the 2020 ceremony.
Hmm?
Or sorry, the
Um,
2021 ceremony for 2020 films. What do you think John Batiste won for?
I don't know. What did he win for?
He worked with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross on the Soul
Oh,
score.
oh, there you go. Trent
Yeah,
Reznor, Atticus Ross. They make great scores. Also did the
yeah,
Social Network.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's yeah.
So
Well,
John
nice.
Batiste, already an Oscar winner. Billie Eilish didn't win anything, sadly.
Mm.
But she has also already won now. So Questlove won something. He's now an Oscar winner. What could we be looking at? My pick, not just because I love his work to death, is Bo Burnham.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
won for best song in visual media for All Eyes on Me, in Bo Burnham Inside, which I think is incredibly deserved.
That one.
Um,
I mean, sure, but out of all the inside songs, I
yeah,
wouldn't have
I know
necessarily
it
gone for that
definitely isn't
one.
my favorite. I think it's definitely one of the more emotionally resonant ones, though,
Yeah, I
for
guess
him.
so. But
So,
yeah.
but people are mad because it beat out Agatha all along.
Well, it should have been Agatha all along. I'm sorry. Like that was a mean song. It wasn't. It wasn't. You know, it wasn't
Yeah,
Bo Burnham inside.
yeah. But he's now an Oscar winner. I mean, he's got to win an Oscar eventually.
Mm.
I don't see a person of that talent not winning an Oscar eventually.
No.
Especially now he's halfway to his EGOT. He won an Emmy for Inside. He's now won a Grammy for Inside. I feel like an Oscar makes sense. I am praying that he wins something for Sesame Street. Because he's doing
that would be great.
Because so I didn't even realize this. So he's doing all of the songs. He's also writing the original score.
Wow. Okay.
So 2 potential categories. I think the songs are definitely more likely. I don't see Sesame Street winning Best Original Score, but Best Original Song, similar to the Muppets, Man or a Muppet, like potentially precedent for a puppet film contending in that category if the song's there. So my pick is going to be Bo Burnham.
Yes.
Would you like to
I
concur?
go through who actually won at the Grammys, because I don't follow music at all.
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah. Would you care to give me a list of maybe who won at the Grammys?
So Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic.
Okay, I doubt.
They won. Olivia Rodrigo won at the Grammys, which she has acted before.
Yeah,
making her debut. High School Musical, the series.
Yeah, of course.
So odd because I watched the first season of that with my sister before Olivia Rodrigo was like a thing. Weird to look back on now because now very much a household name. If I cared, I could say that I was an OG fan, but I wasn't. So honestly, didn't think she was that great of a performer. Another one that did cross my mind, Doja Cat, since she won with SZA for one of their songs. I think it was for on the album Planet Her. Doja Cat rumored to be doing a song with the
Black
Weeknd
Panther. I say
for Black Panther.
Yeah, I'll just go with that one then, actually, because
I
put Black Panther. I put Black Panther in my nominations prediction for this year.
Yeah,
maybe it wins. I doubted Lady Gaga plus Top Gun Maverick. That sounds like a good combo. But if it's getting a nomination, it could. We'll go with that one.
All right. Also, Kanye West won a Grammy, so like maybe.
I don't know if he's winning an Oscar anytime soon.
Yeah, and Lady Gaga did win.
Okay.
Something at the Grammys. She did an album with Tony Bennett. So
she's already won though. So
yes.
But she could become a second time.
Yeah, quite a few Oscar winners though. Her won something as well. Actually, For a Fight for You, the Judas and the Black Messiah winning song, won best R&B song. Traditional
Why
R&B
do
song.
people like that song so much?
I know, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So
well, there you go.
Like it isn't that good. Yeah, I think that's all of the big ones. It's gonna be awful though. It's just gonna be absolutely awful. And Kanto is eligible next year for the Grammys.
Oh dear. Yeah, that could be. Hopefully the hype has died down for that film by the time it rolls around.
Yeah.
But maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah. I actually do want to touch on the Grammys just briefly because they do have a couple of film categories. So Bo Burnham won Best Song for Visual Media, beating out Agatha All Along, Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah, Here I Am Singing My Way Home from Respect, and Speak Now, One Night in Miami. Because Grammys are weird. Their eligibility window is September to September. So all of the late releases for the Oscars last year are also eligible. But yeah, Bo Burnham won for that one. Best Score. The nominees were Queen's Gambit, Bridgerton, Dune, Soul, and The Mandalorian Season 2. Guess what won?
Well, your instinct would say either Soul or Dune since they won the Oscar. But since, I don't know, I'll go with Dune.
It was a tie between Soul and The Queen's Gambit.
Okay. Well, okay. That is interesting.
So, yeah. And then this one was just bad. So, music for visual media. So, best soundtrack. Okay. This is disgusting. Cruella.
Oh, yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, that's another good one.
In the Heights.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That is actually.
That is pretty good. One Night in Miami, which for one song.
Yeah. I mean, sure. It's better than Cruella.
Respect.
Okay.
Schmigadoon, which is a TV show on Apple TV. It's actually quite fun. about people who get like trapped in musical. It stars Ariana DeBose, and
Okay.
Keegan Michael Key. It isn't anything special, but it's fun enough. And then the United States versus Billie Holiday. But so like no West Side Story, no
No.
Annette,
No.
no, and I guess West Side Story wasn't eligible, but like, so I guess that's fair.
Yes.
But like I know these picks just seem so odd.
Still, dear Evan
Like
Hansen.
I think the
Really?
Suicide Squad would have been a great pick for soundtrack.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. I'd have accepted that.
But like just odd picks. And you know what won?
Probably dear Evan Hansen.
No, they went for Billie Holiday, which is
Oh,
just such an
okay. That's
odd,
such a
like,
weird
so
pick.
just like irrelevant choice.
Hmm.
Like nobody
Yeah.
cares at
Okay.
this point. Like I feel like In the Heights would have made the most sense.
Hmm.
But like
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's from a film perspective. That is easily the best film on there. But
yeah,
whatever. Whatever.
maybe the only I thought the Cruella no, I think that One Night in Miami is better than In the Heights. I think those are the best two.
I'd probably say I prefer In the Heights to One Night in
Okay.
Miami. But yes, they are two good films. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, quick Grammys detour. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
getting better at following the Grammys. Looks like Adele's going to sweep again. Fun Grammys fact: she hasn't lost a Grammy since 2011. Won
Wow.
16
Okay.
straight Grammys.
Well, that is good. That's good.
So yeah, feeling pretty confident about another Adele sweep.
Mm.
But yeah, but here's a little a plug, a bit of a plug. Um, we won't be covering the Grammys. I might do
No,
like a prediction video or something by next year, but we will be covering another award ceremony,
we
not as
will.
extensively as the Oscars, but we will be covering the Emmys over the summer.
We will.
Well, we
We
have
will.
nothing else to talk about.
Yes, pretty much.
We'll have Cannes in May, and
Yeah.
then just nothing, just
Yeah. If you couldn't
absolutely
tell
nothing.
by
We'll
this
still be
show,
reviewing.
the news has been pretty slow this week.
It has been pretty slow.
Hence
Um,
hence the detours.
yeah. So we're going to be covering the Emmys. We will be doing predictions for the Emmys. We'll be doing our first of those in a couple of weeks.
Mm.
So that will be fun. We'll do reactions. We'll do nomination reactions.
We will.
And then reactions to the show. We might do like a ranking of some sort at some point. I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be something to tide us over until fall festival season. So I'm looking forward to it. And I've been watching
Yeah.
a lot of TV.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
all right. Here's another fun one. Who will be the next like traditionally comedic actor to receive an Oscar nomination? Because it seems like there's some sort of like stigma against comedy actors, you know?
Yeah.
Like Eddie Murphy probably should have been nominated for Dolomite Is My Name,
As should another comedic actor that year, Adam Sandler from Uncut
obviously.
Gems.
Obviously. My pick is of course Jim Carrey and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Best Supporting
Oh,
Actor.
of course. Of course.
No. But what are you thinking, or should I go first because you have no zero prep?
Well, no, because I would go Adam Sandler. He's been knocking on that door for a while now. Yes, he does make some bad movies still, like
Some
Murder Mystery and
could be
what
Halloween.
was that? Halloween. That was one I
Yeah.
was looking for. Yeah, but then he does. It feels like every so often he makes a great film that he's actually good in it. So
Mayor
like,
Horowitz Stories, Uncut Gems. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like I maybe wouldn't be surprised if someone does get there first. But eventually, Adam Sandler will get his Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
And I will be all the more here for it because, like, he should have got it for Uncut Gems. Yeah, he definitely should have got one for Punch Drunk Love as well. He was just amazing in that film.
Oh yeah. I love that. I just watched it
Yeah,
recently. Love it.
exactly.
Love Punch Drunk
He
Love.
is.
I
So
think it's
he's
my
a.
favorite PTA. In
It
all honesty,
is. Oh yes, it is my favorite PTA as well. I'd
it's
say.
nice we
Yeah,
agree on that. Yeah.
yeah. But so he makes good films. He is a great actor sometimes. So yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Soon, hopefully, soon he'll get his Oscar nomination.
I quite honestly believe that Whoopi Halloween was just our punishment because he said if he wasn't nominated for Uncut Gems, he would make a movie just
Yeah, I
intentionally so
remember.
bad that we'd have to endure it. And I honestly think that was Whoopi Halloween. So he is doing Spaceman this year for Netflix with Carey Mulligan. I don't know how much of a thing this is going to be.
No, I don't know if this is the one that gets it for him, but
Like,
yeah.
so we do have more details about it now. So yes, it's gonna be directed by Johan Renck, who directed something in 2008, but he's primarily a musician. But it's going to be it's based on a novel, and it's going to be about this orphan child who was raised in the countryside of the Czech Republic by his grandparents, who overcomes his odds to become the country's first astronaut. So
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing. I don't know if this is going to be like a satire spoof Netflix thing like Eurovision was,
Yeah.
where it's just like a goofy thing, or if this is actually going to be a thing. Paul Dano was also cast in it recently,
Okay.
and like the book was
Right.
pretty well received. Like people really like this book. So like I'm confused about where this is. If it's going to be an actual Oscars, because like if this is an actual Oscars contender, like that's a pretty solid synopsis. For
Yeah.
a potential Oscar contender with the cast of Adam Sandler, Carey Mulligan, and Paul Dano. Paul Dano, like only adding to what a great year he's going to have between the Batman, Fablemans, and then
Yeah.
now potentially this Carey Mulligan, previous Oscar nominee, should be winner. Adam Sandler should be nominee. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will happen this year, but actor is
No.
fairly weak so far.
Yeah. But as I say, it should happen eventually. Hopefully, it's soon.
Yep. Yeah. Before I give my answer, Paul Dano. So I before I went and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, saw another film by Daniels, Swiss Army Man. Paul
Mm.
Dano is great in it. He's
Okay.
really, really good. It's a very odd, bizarre film. It's about a man who is stranded. Yeah, I'll keep it brief to avoid spoilers, but he's stranded on a deserted island, and the washed up corpse of Daniel Radcliffe comes up beside him, and Daniel Radcliffe as a corpse farts a lot.
Okay.
Um, and it's about Paul Dano like kind of anthropomorphizing him and like thinking that he's real, and yeah, it's a very odd, goofy
Right.
film that's actually surprisingly very heartfelt by the end.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Daniel Kwan and Shiner, I believe, are the two directors. Um,
Right.
quite talented at balancing the goof and the drama.
Hmm. Nice. Nice.
But my pick is going to be Jean Smart, comedic
Okay.
actress, star of very close between this and Succession for my favorite show of this Emmy season, Hacks, which I adore that show. She's incredible in it. Probably going to win the Emmy this year for actress in a comedy. She has a supporting role in Babylon, Damien Chazelle's new film. I'm predicting her currently to pick up a nomination for it. So that will be
Yeah.
my pick.
Nice. Nice.
Much less to talk about with that one compared to Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Let's talk about the disparity between critics and audiences at the Oscars. Where do you think the Academy is with this, and do you think it's as exaggerated as people are saying?
So it's a tricky one because, like, they went for a more audience-friendly movie for Best Picture this year. They went for Coda over Power of the Dog. Like, if the Oscars were a more critical sort of institution, if they did side with the critics, they'd have definitely gone with Power of the Dog.
Or
So
Drive My
it is
Car.
a case
Yeah.
or Drive My Car, obviously, but I feel the Academy themselves are definitely favoring critics. Like, they definitely favor critics. But the fact that the Oscars is a business and they've got to keep on air and, like, all of the kind of behind the scenes stuff, I feel that inherently makes them side more with audiences sometimes. So I do think they are in a sort of weird middle spot where, the voters maybe don't always agree with what
Mhm.
the eventual outcome is. So that's where I think they sort of stand right now. Like, they are a definitely more critic friendly institution trying to pander to audiences. So they do sometimes lean slightly inside of audiences.
Because like they
They're
gave it to
critic
Coda, which
friendly audience voters. That is how I
Coda.
describe it.
Okay, because Coda is more audience friendly than Power of the Dog. But even
Hmm.
just looking at the nominees, it isn't Dune or West Side Story.
No, no.
Like, it isn't
So
the
that is
most
exactly that.
audience
That's
friendly.
exactly it. They sort of accidentally they've got these two sides pushing against each other, so they end up in the middle a lot of the time,
Well,
which
because
is
also
making
what
them less and less popular because they're less
yeah,
popular with the
they
critics
they
and they're
aren't
less
appealing
popular
to
with the
any.
audiences.
Yeah.
They're trying to have both markets and they're ending up pushing them both away. So
And what it feels like to me is that the nominations are more critic friendly, but the
mm,
winners are more audience friendly. It's like the critics, typically it leans more critically. I mean, look at this year's actress lineup. Like, it
mm,
included Kristen Stewart, it included Penelope Cruz. Like, I
yeah,
think Renata Reinsva was the number 6,
yeah,
like very close to getting in. I mean, it wasn't Lady Gaga, it wasn't Alana Haim, two like superstars of just the entertainment industry.
yeah,
So like the nominations I feel like are more criticky, but then the winner was Jessica Chastain,
yeah.
who's a
And
household name
you can
for
also apply
like
that to like original screenplay. Like they nominated the worst person in the world. Great. They went for Belfast for the win.
they went for
Oh well.
Belfast,
Yeah.
which like again isn't, and it's odd because it's like Belfast isn't, I would say, a big audience hit. That
But
isn't a
yeah,
movie that like all audiences are like, oh, did you see Belfast? Like when they're at work, but like I would say it's definitely the
it's
more
how people
audience
talk.
friendly. Sure. Um,
Yeah.
but like it's definitely I would say one of the more audience friendly movies
Yeah.
of the nominees had people seen it, because it isn't Don't Look Up. It isn't the movie that was the most seen, but
No.
it's like it's the most audience friendly of the critics' favorites, regardless of if
Yeah.
audiences actually saw it. Which I think is what
Yeah.
Coda was. Like it was the
Yeah.
more audience
Maybe that
friendly
is a
of
good
the
way of
critics.
the audience favorite of the critics' favorites. Hang on, that
Like the most audience friendly movie of the critics'
audience
favorites.
friendly of the critic. Yeah, there we go. That is how you can describe the Oscars.
Because that's Jessica Chastain. Nobody really
Yeah.
saw that movie, but it's a more audience friendly performance than something like Kristen Stewart.
Hmm. Yeah.
And both favorites. So there's definitely a strong point of intersectionality between the two perceived sides, I guess you could call it.
Yes. The
But yeah.
sides.
All right, we got through 3 questions. Moving on.
Cool.
Let's talk about some movies. I want to save Everything Everywhere for the end. So
Okay.
talk about the beasts.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say the beast because I counted 5 different monsters in this film, and it's called Fantastic Beasts. Also, it's called Secrets of Dumbledore. I learnt zero information about Dumbledore, so this title
No
is
secrets?
yeah. Oh yeah, they're still secrets. That was the point of this
Oh,
movie. Yeah,
okay.
they were to tell you that secrets exist, but they're not going to tell you the secrets. So yeah, I was not a fan of this film. In like people are saying it's better than the last one. That is a very very low bar. Yes, I would agree with that fact. It is better than the last one, but it's minimal. Like it is not a good film. All of it, like action is just underwhelming. Like yeah, it looks good, but I mean it's got a, whatever $200 million budget. Of course,
Right,
it's going to look good. Like films like this don't not look good.
right.
And it's the problem is they've seemed to double down on all the things that people didn't like about the last one. They've just doubled down on them. Too many characters. Like yeah, it's got too many characters, which a lot of them serve the same purpose. So yeah, just cut out a few characters. Some are just introduced in this movie. I still don't know their names. Like I genuinely don't know the names of about half of the characters in this movie. Like the motivations of all the characters change way too quickly. The only well-written character in these entire films is Jacob, and that's worrying since he is the comic relief. Like that is not what you want your film to be relying on. The plot is bad. I don't know how else you like say it without going into spoilers, but the plot is just bad. There are so many plot holes and leap in logic and like just inconsistencies. Like I genuinely think about an hour and a half of this movie could have been cut. It could have been an hour-long movie. That is how little plot there actually is. When you think about it, this film just completely falls apart. And I think the problem with is J.K. Rowling does not know how to write plot. She's a great world builder. Like everything they do with the world building in this film is cool. They introduce a whole political system. It's wacky, it's weird, it doesn't make much sense, but yeah, it's cool. It makes sense within this wizarding world. I did enjoy seeing this political system. I actually enjoy the fact that this film takes a more political focus. I do think that is a interesting direction to take the franchise. I thought, yeah, cool. It's a political thriller almost. Fun. She doesn't know how to write plots though. And I think this is the problem even with the Harry Potter films. Like, you don't go in for them for the plots. Like, Order of the Phoenix doesn't have much of a plot. Half Blood Prince,
Yeah. Deathly
the
Hallows
plots.
Part 1.
Yeah, exactly. The plots are not the strong parts of these movies, and I do think a lot of this does come down to JK's writing. Like, it is as if she is coming up with all of this stuff on the spot, and yeah, it's almost like childlike. She's going, yeah, this thing happens, and then this thing happens, and then this thing happens. She feels like she's surprising herself with her plots, which is not what you want an audience to go away with. It's just there's so many dangling plot threads from the last film that you want to see revolved there and just are not. And yeah, it's just like it's not good. It really isn't good, and I would be more than happy to see this franchise end here because that does feel like what they're trying to do. I read somewhere that this was, they're hedging their bets. If this film doesn't do well financially, they can theoretically end the franchise here. It does come to a like somewhat, sorry, natural conclusion. I'm just coughing out how bad this film is. I'm being poisoned. They're telling me I can't speak out the truth about this film.
J.K. Rowling has a gun pointed at your head.
Yeah, she definitely does. Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen, he's fine. Like, he's not the Mads Mikkelsen from Another Round or like The Hunt. He's just not. Yeah. This film's bad. I don't want to talk about this film for much longer, to be honest. Plot bad, characters bad. Yeah.
Yep, about as articulate as J.K. Rowling's political takes. So, yeah, that's. I mean, I'm still going to see it, but like,
Yeah.
I never was, and definitely am not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Also, I do need to rewatch the first two Fantastic Beasts movies.
Honestly, the beautiful thing is you don't. Like,
Okay.
genuinely, it does not matter.
Well,
they completely forget those films' existence. Like that, the
well,
characters are in every single entry in this franchise blank slates. It feels like they just go,
okay.
"Oh yeah, that character development there. Yeah, we're just going to ignore that and do a different thing with it, just for fun." Yeah,
Because I've realized recently that I've seen half of each movie. Because I watched them with family for the first time, same night. Did both of them. Fell
Wow.
asleep halfway through the first one. Woke up sometime during the second one.
Yeah. The first one's like not bad. It's not. It's like passable, but
So
the second one is awful. This one is not much better. And the fact is, my real problem with this film is that it thinks it's like if at least a film like Sonic the Hedgehog knows it's kind of stupid. This film thinks it's so important and doing all these crazy things and like, wow, what a great world we've created. I'm just like, no one cares. No one cares at this point.
when
So I give it like
when,
a 4 probably as my rating out of 10. Maybe even a 3.
when you're being compared unfavorably to Sonic the Hedgehog 2,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
yeah. Okay, a movie that I definitely wouldn't compare unfavorably to
Yeah.
anything,
Anything. Wow.
honestly. Like the movie that I'm talking about is, of course, if you've been following like anything having to do with film in the past couple of weeks,
Yeah. Or just
everything,
a show in general. We
everywhere,
mentioned it a
yeah,
lot already.
yeah,
We mentioned
everything,
everywhere.
everywhere,
Yeah.
all at once. I mean, yeah, it's a masterpiece. I'll come straight out and say it. Everybody's right. Like I was excited for this movie going into it, but skeptical. I didn't want it to be like super overhyped, and I still would definitely go in, not expecting like, the greatest film of all time, because that nothing I think will be able to live up to that if those are your expectations.
Mm.
Like, but it's a phenomenal film. Um, the the structure of how the narrative is put together, even through all of the weird stuff going on, like a lot of the weird jokes, like for instance, it's in the trailer, there's a dimension with like people with like hot dogs for fingers.
Yes.
Like everything is paid off though. Like there's there's all of these little things Like the googly eyes like that are on like a bunch of stuff on like the trailers. Like it's like a goofy bit throughout the movie. It has a payoff. So it's all of the stuff that's like very funny. I got to see this with a packed crowd.
Wow.
At the same theater, Ambulance, like 4 seats taken. Everything Everywhere All at Once, not an empty theater, not an empty seat
Yeah.
in the theater.
Wow.
Um, People are coming out for this movie. I think it had like an 8 million opening weekend, which is incredible
Yeah.
for a
I
weird
yeah.
A24 movie.
I seen it having some of the best per theater averages like of the year. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think it was when it was just in New York and LA, it was at like 50,000 a theater
Yeah. Wow.
was like its per theater average. Um, like yeah, people are coming out in droves. Saw this with the packed theater. It's such a great movie to see with the theater. Like everybody was laughing hysterically at a lot of the bits. Like I think this is the hardest that I've ever laughed in a theater.
Okay. Wow.
Simultaneously being some of the most I've ever cried in a theater. All within the same 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow. Beautiful.
It hits everywhere on the emotional spectrum. It somehow manages to balance these like insane contradictory, like just absurdist, offbeat, ridiculous humor. Almost like childish like humor at times, but definitely with things and with ideas that are not for children. Um
Yeah.
but like it's almost like childlike humor balanced
Mm.
with like nailing like emotional beats about like family trauma and about like parent-child relationships. And somehow, I don't know, I still don't know how. I do not know how, but somehow those two things were balanced perfectly.
Okay.
Perfectly, where you can go from laughing to crying back and forth, and it feels natural.
Mm.
Um, like there is an emotional there's an heavy emotional beat where they bring back a couple of jokes from earlier in the film, and it feels natural. Like you are going along with the ride of just like human life and emotion with these characters. The directors described it as like their love letter to like the world and humanity, and that
Mm.
really comes
Wow.
through.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it really does come through. I would also I've sent you the video on Twitter, Thomas, of
Yes.
them getting their their fake
Very
letterbox
funny.
trophy
Very
for best
funny.
movie of all time. Like
Yeah.
they're I've watched quite a few interviews since, and they're just very chill dudes that don't really
Yeah.
know why everybody likes the movie so much.
Mm.
Uh, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is just nice. Just
them
nice.
just being like, I mean, we think it's good, but like it's not better
Yeah.
than Parasite or The
Yeah.
Godfather. Like that's kind of insane.
Yeah.
There was this tweet from a film critic that was like, starting the thread talking about how Everything Everywhere All at Once is overrated. And one of the directors, I think Daniel Kwan, responded and says, "Hi, I'm the director, and I agree." So like,
Yeah.
they're they seem like pretty chill guys, but like, it's they made a great movie. They made a great movie. Michelle Yeoh, I don't care what else happens this year, should at least be nominated. At
Okay.
least be nominated. She gives a career best performance.
Yeah.
Um, I want to make sure I get the name right. But Ke Huy Kwan, who plays her husband, should be nominated in supporting actor.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, if the film keeps going, these things could happen. I do
Yeah,
genuinely think Michelle Yeoh has a decent chance if the film can keep momentum. If it's still in the conversation, why not? Why not?
yeah. Yeah, Ke Huy Kwan, the as a child actor, was in the Goonies and was a was I can't remember the name, but Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh,
Um,
sure round.
Short Round, yeah, he's that kid but grown up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and he's
Nice.
phenomenal. Like he gives one of my favorite like supporting actor performances ever.
Yeah.
Um, he should be nominated. Their daughter, Stephanie Sue, who I
Hmm.
don't believe has been in like anything like just she's been in I think Marvelous Mrs. Maisel
Hmm.
small role, and then she had a like tiny role in Shang-Chi. Other than that, nothing. She's incredible. I don't think that she has a shot to be nominated, but like there's definitely a possibility.
Wow.
Again, if the movie goes like really hard, she's definitely the least likely. But like
Right.
Michelle Yeoh and Ko Kwan, 100% possible. Like just straight up, like just that it could happen. It could definitely just happen. Um, yeah, I have nothing but just incredible things to say about this movie. The editing, some of the best, if not the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
The
Okay.
way this film is constructed, obviously it's jumping between a bunch of different realities.
Hmm.
But how it's structured narratively, there's some non-linear storytelling stuff going on, but you don't realize it until like afterwards sometimes, and then other times they'll just like straight up tell you like it's phenomenally edited. Like this could even get like some of the art, like the I call them the arts and crafts techs, like
Yeah.
costumes, makeup,
I
and
get
hair
what you mean.
production
I get what
design.
you mean.
Like that kind of stuff. Like there's some insane production design in costumes, especially the costumes for Stephanie Sue as Eleanor. She's
Hmm.
in maybe like 20 different costumes, and they're all like over the top and extravagant throughout the film. The sound design, it should win just ever.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Overpowering sound, Dune level sound, Dune level sound. Watching it in a theater, like I'm gushing about this movie. The screenplay I think is one of I feel like screenplay, editing, and Michelle Yeoh are the most likely things. If
Yeah.
anything, it gets those.
But I
If
mean,
anything.
if it gets those, like, that's a very good combo for picture.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would be shocked. I mean, I'll be shocked if this isn't my favorite movie by the end of the year.
Okay.
I
Wow.
mean, it's April, but I will really honestly be shocked if I don't have this at number one by the end of the year.
Well, the
It,
hype is real then. The hype
yeah,
is real.
it very much is real. Like the hype for Oscars for this. I mean, like just after seeing it, like yeah, there'll be people who like it less than me and who aren't like just like everybody on Letterboxd that are like 5 stars. Like the last
Hmm.
time I checked, 50,000 people had seen it, and I think 27,000 of them had given it 5 stars on Letterboxd. It's the number
Okay.
one of all time on Letterboxd. Like
Yeah.
there'll be people who like it less than that, obviously,
Yeah.
but I don't know how many people will watch this and actively dislike it. Like,
Well,
put it below three, like 3.5, 3 star. Like, who will like say no, this is a bad movie. Like, I don't know. It's yeah. Like, I won't get into the ending. But it made me cry for a hot minute.
okay.
It's really well executed. I felt like I was off balance walking out of the theater. I felt like stunned. Like it really felt like I was watching something very, very special. This movie
Okay.
is very, very special. Um, and I swear to God, it better win all of the Oscars,
All of them.
all of them. Like, I'll be
All at
very
once.
mad. I'll be very mad if this doesn't get nominated for Best Picture. I'll be very,
Yeah.
very mad.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the hype really is real, everybody. The hype really is
Nice.
real.
Nice.
I'm going to see if I can talk friends into seeing it again tonight.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I want to watch this movie every day.
Every
It's
day.
it's going to go
Okay.
into my all-time list easily. Like it's already going to be in the top 50. If I want to watch it again before putting it in my top 10, but it will probably go into my top 10.
Wow. Wow.
Um, yeah.
Wow.
The hype is real. I don't want to overhype it for you. I don't know how I could, considering like it being
No.
Letterboxd's top movie
Yeah.
of all
Yeah.
time.
Exactly.
But
I don't
like,
think you're contributing much to the
yeah,
overhyping.
I'm just white noise at this point. Everybody is saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I went in with those expectations and was still blown away. So
Yeah.
it felt like Parasite level stuff.
Wow. Wow.
Um, I'm not saying that it will win Best Picture. This would be a very odd Best Picture choice, but
Yeah.
I'd be here for it. Like, because
I
like
mean,
this is getting high with like the general public. Like I was seeing people saying that they were bringing friends who like only ever watched superhero movies, who loved it.
wow.
Like it's appealing to all audience. It's appealing to like the Letterboxd film Twitter audience who like is typically more like
Yeah.
art house fans,
Yeah.
like more
Pretentious, in other
pretentious.
words.
Yeah, that's the
Hey,
Probably the
I'm
best
one of
one.
them. I'm one of them.
I
So
am one of them. Oh, I know how I forgot to mention Jamie Lee Curtis is incredible. Maybe my favorite performance ever from her. But like, yeah, it's but no, it's appealing to the letterbox film Twitter. Like, it's appealing to the pretentious film people, and
yeah,
also to just the mainstream like superhero fans,
yeah,
like the general public. This is appealing
yeah.
to everybody. It's going to be this is going to be a cultural phenomenon. Um, I don't know. It really is something special, and I think it's going to carry over all the way to Oscar season. I think that
Wow.
there are going to be enough people like this. This could be like a critics like best picture winner sweeper. Like this could be like Drive My Car, where it just gets into all of the critics picks.
Yeah,
But this is very strong in,
yeah,
not only screenplay, director, picture, like actress, editing, sound. Like this
yeah.
could do some very real damage. I'm gonna
And I
be
mean,
close.
if
Like,
it's more accessible than Drive My Car, what is stopping it? What is stopping it?
oh, it's way more accessible than Drive My
Yeah,
Car. It's
exactly.
very funny. It's one of the
Yeah,
funniest movies I've seen in a long time. One of the best comedies I've seen in a long time. Like it's yeah, it's really incredible. I've put it into my predictions. I think as of now in picture, actress, editing, screenplay, and sound. Might be adding a couple more if I see it again.
hmm
Um, yeah, everything everywhere all at once. Incredible. I think I've talked for over 10 minutes, so there's a clip.
maybe.
Um, my rating of the film is obviously a 10
Yes.
out of 10.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think we really needed to do that,
I
but
know.
sure.
It would be funny
Yeah,
if I said all of them. It was like solid 7.
yeah,
Solid
yeah.
7.
Maybe an 8 on a good day. On a good day.
Yep. Yep. Maybe an 8 if I see it again,
Yeah.
Uh, but no, it's a 10. It's a 10. And it's just like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. That is the show. We reached an hour.
That is a
That
show.
was the
We
goal.
did reach the hour.
To,
We
to
had to
get
push for it for a bit, but
we
yeah,
did.
we
We did.
reached the hour.
We had to talk about the Grammys for a little bit.
We
We had to
did.
talk about
Us
Adam
being
Sandler,
shells.
shells, but we
Yeah,
got there.
we
Um,
got there.
let's see. Oscars predictions are up.
Yes.
Very exciting. We will be doing a full breakdown of the Cannes lineup next
Mhm.
week. Maybe be given some Palme d'Or predictions.
Maybe.
Could be fun. Could be fun. And we will also be launching a new bi-weekly show.
We will be.
Um,
Yeah.
huh? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We will.
So
Oh,
I'm
I
just
thought you said
agreeing
something
with
else.
you. No, I
No,
was
we'll
just
be
agreeing
launching a
with
new
you.
bi-weekly show. Still, still don't know the title, but we'll be looking back at past Best Picture races and giving our thoughts on what we think should have won because
Yeah.
we are, I'd say, generally smarter than the Academy,
Yeah. I'd say. Yeah. I'd say generally
smarter than
smarter than the
every Oscar
Academy.
winner ever and nominee and like person in the film
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
think our
much. Pretty
intelligence
much.
rivals that
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I think we
Spielberg.
actually should just become the new Oscars. Really.
I think that okay. I think that film Twitter would like our choices better,
They probably would. They probably would.
and film
Or
Twitter is the
maybe
only
not
thing that
mine.
matters.
Maybe not mine. I think
No,
definitely yours would be more. Some of my takes would
you
be
would still
questionable.
giving Green Book Best Picture.
I might be. I might be. We'll see. We'll see.
That's going to be a very fun
Yeah.
discussion because you like Green Book and
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think that those movies are actively bad.
Yeah. I'll
Um,
rewatch them. I'll rewatch them.
but
But
we all do know that Eighth Grade should have won Best Picture that year, and it's not even close.
I mean, I'd say Hereditary, but then I'd follow that up closely with Eighth Grade.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Hereditary is also up there for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a sneak peek into the conversation that you
Yes.
should be
Yeah.
getting.
We've come past an hour, but we're still having tangents.
Anyways, yeah, that'll be a fun thing. But
Yeah.
Thomas, in the meantime, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Project Mayhem on YouTube and on Letterboxd at Thomas Gladstone.
You can find me YouTube at The Basement, where we'll be doing a full discussion. Myself, Mark and Upik. I think Dan Merle will also be on there as well, of Everything Everywhere All at Once. I know they also love the movie just as much as I did.
Nice.
So it'll be a fun conversation. Plus, we'll be talking about Ambulance, Sonic 2, and Fantastic Beasts all next week. So that will be fun. You can find me on Twitter at TM Talks Movies, where I basically just talk about movies. So if you aren't tired of me, you can find me there. and on Letterboxd. Shock, more places where I talk about movies.
Yeah.
And you can see everything that I'm watching. And then I'm also on the Banana Meter. Almost forgot about
Yeah.
that. But that is the show. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and we will
Thank
see
you.
you next week.